After the first two episodes, with very subtle tweaking and basic understanding, many drivers claim they found few tenths in their lap times and even some break their own world records. And in this episode, we're gonna go further. First, I will explain how I choose my racing clients for complex sectors like the first one of Suzuka and why. And second, I will break down why some drivers beat their times and others fail, and how you can succeed in your goal. Let's go back on track. T1 and T2 are pretty much a single corner in my mind, with early apex in the entry and gradually gently braking in a straight line for late apex on the exit. Using all the extension of the track, we'll move all the way to the right and prepare for deep entry in T3. With some cars, I try to stay out of the curb in T4 because I try to stay tight and prepare my car for another deep entry. Going deep on T5, I accelerate on the way out and I drive straight for early apex on T6 inside, create amazing rotation of the car, and if I'm close I can surprise the competition and disturb their line. Again, I stay tight because I need the best possible position for T7, which have a little late apex and little bump inside. Once the car leans down in the middle of that bump and create bit extra weight on the car, I try to timing my inputs and use that little extra grip. Getting ready for T8, I will throw the car with extra speed and will try to balance the car in straight line and prepare for slow entry and early accelerating on T8. It doesn't sound like much, but there are three very important rules we have to learn from this. First, approach the exit of every corner with what is coming next in your mind. In this combination, we can take much more from the exit of the first corner and lose much more on the very next because of the bad positioning of the car. The hardest part for new drivers is to discipline their mind and follow the chosen lines. Because they see the opportunity to take more from the first corner, they kill the very next, which costs much more time. Second, we give too much attention on the leading car and that hurts our own performance. We all have been in a situation where the leading car runs wide of the exit and we follow with the same mistake. Ignore the leading car. You already have the advantage of the slipstream. If you want to create opportunity, drive with your marks and ignore the car in front completely. And third, slow in and fast out is not the best advice for every corner. Here we have two almost identical corners with completely different approach. In the first, we throw the car as fast as possible with deep trial braking, and on the second, early braking and early accelerating. As I said before, we approach the entry and the exit of every corner keeping in mind what is coming next, and strictly follow the rules we set in our mind no matter what. The next part of the video will be the most important for your progress on track or your entire life, and honestly try to understand this or just give up racing or any other dream you ever had. We have very wrong understanding of the learning process. For example, some of you will think you learned something from those videos I do, and that is so wrong. You haven't learned anything, you just gather information. The learning process is when you gather that information and entertain idea in your mind. Only when you get emotionally involved in that idea and start acting on that idea and change the end result with that idea, only then you learned something. Do you know why so many drivers become faster after episode 1 of those series and why so many fail? Because some gathered that information, entertained that idea in their mind and got emotionally connected to that idea, believe it in it, and then work it till change the end result. And the rest just never really got connected to that idea and fell. You see, those drivers who found time in their lap times are those kind of people who can achieve anything in their life because the pattern for every success is the same. My personal conclusion for the placebo effect is nothing else but believing in something which helps you act differently and ending with different results. When I tell you believe in your dreams and it will happen, that is not because some magic will happen, but because if you believe, you will constantly work till you make it happen. So, My goal with those videos is not to teach you, because that is entirely up to you. My goal is to give you information and try to get you emotionally involved so you can believe and start working till you change your results. As I said before, from the next video we start with actual driving techniques, and for that reason you will have to do some fun homework. To be able to manipulate the grip of the car, you need to become master of the weight transfer balance. If you want to learn how to use the trail braking technique or how to create a proper slip angle around the corner, you really have to understand and feel that weight transfer. When you brake, the car pitches down and transfers all the weight to the front tires, which create more grip to the front. If you accelerate, the car pitches up and all the weight goes back, equal more grip on the rear tires. If you brake and turn left, for example, maximum weight is in front right tire. If you accelerate on the left turn, weight goes back to the rear right. The grip on every tire depends on how well you can feel and manipulate those weight forces with your brake, throttle and steering inputs. In the first episode, I asked you to stop overdriving the car and realize how important is the exit. And if you already did that, now I'm gonna ask you to do the opposite for two reasons. To take the maximum of the car, you need confidence and full control beyond the limits. And second, you really need to overdrive and upset the car and feel all those weight transfer forces if you want to learn how to have full control of the car. I know we always want quick results, but there are few biological parts in our brain and body which need some time to be processed. I usually ask you to be patient, but this time I will ask you something else. Do you remember why you started driving at first place? It was because you wanted to go from point A to point B as fast as possible? Or it was because you loved the feeling of having control of that machine and make it an extension of your body? So, go out and drive the wheels of your favorite car, because in the next one we have to learn the trail braking.